Michael Moore has been a hero of the left for films like Bowling for Columbine, taking on the US gun culture. That got an Academy Award. Then there was Fahrenheit 9/11, attacking President George Bush in the war in Iraq. That made him a real hero. But now, Michael Moore is under furious attack from the left for a new film that was released free on the internet this week. Moore is the executive producer. It's called Planet of the Humans. This time, the target is the renewable energy scam, even though Moore says that he and the film director, Jeff Gibbs, have been greenies forever.
We've been environmentalists our entire lives.
But now, well, there are things in this film, actually, that I don't agree with. I don't agree that the planet is in worse shape than ever. This is where the filmmakers let their green credentials run away with them. It's not, you know, overpopulation, blah, blah, blah. We've heard all that. Look, in the West, at least, the air in most big cities is cleaner. You can see it for yourself. Rivers are less polluted. We are much more careful than we used to be. And in fact, NASA satellite measurements show that the planet has actually got greener over the past 35 years. Isn't that worth celebrating? But Moore, and particularly director Jeff Gibbs, do make some great points about a scam that too many journalists have refused to question. And that is why their film has come as such a shock to so many, and why green groups are now actually trying to get Planet of the Humans banned. Isn't that a sign of the times? If you don't like the message, just try to ban. Just in case they succeed, I want to show you maybe 5 minutes from the film. Great stuff. I think you'll love it. And I urge you to see the rest on the internet while it's still up there. It goes for 1 hour and 40 minutes, not a minute wasted. And it's had 3 million views already. For the moment, though, watch these extracts and enjoy.
Now, to do their part for the new green economy, General Motors introduced a new line of electric vehicles. When the Chevy Volt was ready for release, I attended their press conference.
So these electric vehicles are ready for public consumption, and we're ready with the infrastructure, with the rates, with the communications.
I am extremely grateful to be here today, and in fact this is a chance for me to say thank you more formally. The Chevy Volt is upstairs. We'll be able to take a look at it.
We got about 1,000 photos.
Yeah.
This is the plug.
It's as simple as that.
The batteries are in the trunk?
No, the battery in this particular design is a T-shape right down the center and across the back seat area. Because everybody thought we killed the electric vehicle. No, we didn't. It's alive and well.
So what's charging the batteries right now? What's the source of
Well,
electricity?
here. It's coming from the building.
I mean, is it, what's our mix of power?
Oh, actually, Lansing feeds the building.
What's that?
Lansing feeds power to the building. So I don't know.
They're,
I bet you they're a bit of coal. They're heavy on natural gas, aren't they?
right now the car's charging off of your grid.
Right. It would be charging off our grid, which is about 95% coal.
How long do you think it'll be before there's a solar and wind powered grid?
Oh, golly.
To suggest that all of the power used for these cars will be generated from wind and solar in the very near future would not be correct. In fact, we're talking about charging these up at night, so there won't be any solar at that time. So we're down to wind, and very often at night the wind does fall off. So
I don't think coal is bad. The what?
A big battle. Mountaintop removal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got lovely BTUs. It's got lovely
Very
energy
dense,
value.
isn't it?
How do you burn it more cleanly? I mean, do you see natural gas getting bashed?
we will be delivering power based on natural gas very shortly. And even with that mix, we intend to use biofuels if we can.
You got any
Oh,
support?
the environmental groups are extremely supportive.
We did install the state's largest solar array at my company, the Board of Water and Light. It's just down the street from here,
really?
a few miles, if you want to take a look at it. What outfit are you with?
New World Media, we're doing a segment on the renewable energy.
Oh, excuse me, I gotta go for a
sorry.
second, but thanks.
I decided to take him up on his offer to check out their football field-sized solar array right down the street.
As you can see, Jeff Gibbs did go down the street to say, you see that impressive array of solar power. And guess just how little good it did.
How many homes would this array provide electricity?
We can meet the energy requirements for 10 homes over a year.
10 homes. That's pretty good, isn't it? But we're told that solar still is very green, right? I mean, free light from the sun. I mean, really, that's how much greener can you get? But here is what Planet of the Humans actually found.
Ozzie Zenner, a visiting scholar at UC Berkeley and Northwestern University, was asking some of the same questions.
I mean, I thought that solar and wind were probably very good solutions. I mean, it wasn't really even that long ago.
One of the most dangerous things right now is the illusion that alternative technologies like wind and solar are somehow different from fossil fuels. Well, I hear a lot of times that solar cells are made out of sand.
Have you ever thought about solar panels? The main ingredient that makes them work is silicon or sand.
This is the raw material chips are made of, sand.
They don't use sand at all.
So they use, I'll show you what they... So this is one of the ingredients. It's actually mined quartz.
Spruce Pine, North Carolina, regarded as the finest source of high-purity quartz in the world for semiconductor, solar, and communication applications.
But you can't use sand because sand has too many impurities. So you start with a very high-quality quartz and a very high-quality coal. And then you put those two together into an arc furnace and you melt them.
The quartz is then melted with coal in a large furnace at temperatures of up to 1,800 degrees.
So you need more coal to do that. So I'll get another coal out. So when we melt these together, we get silicon metal and carbon dioxide. And the carbon dioxide just goes off and you got rid of the carbon, you're left with silicon metal. This is not clean coal.
Not clean coal. Ozzie Zenner said it was an illusion that renewables were replacing coal or any fossil fuel. Environmental groups continued telling a different story.
We've already seen more than 25% of the U.S. coal fleet has already either retired or is on a schedule to retire.
Coal plants were closing, but Ozzie explained that well-meaning people were being misled.
NV Energy is now going to go ahead and shut down the plant and go with renewable, one of the largest solar plants, and that's going to happen right behind me.
Since you can't replace a coal plant with solar, they're actually replacing the coal plant with 2 natural gas plants. And natural gas is a fossil fuel. This is the Las Vegas cogen natural gas plant. This is one of the facilities that's replacing the coal plant that's being shut down.
But can't we just rely on solar and wind, not that terrible gas, when we replace these even more terrible coal-fired power systems? Well, no, as the Planet of Humans go on to say, there are times when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, and you always need some other power supply on standby waiting to take over. I mean, well, we ban nuclear, so you can't have that. It leaves coal and gas, kind of, and turning them up and down to all the time for when the wind and solar aren't there, well, that's terribly expensive. It wears the batteries out and, oh, really, wears the systems out, really. And batteries, well, they're not quite up to the job and they're even more horrendously expensive. Look, the whole thing's a damn mess. The whole thing's a mess, which is why power prices in Australia are now so high. Now, I'd love to just show you more of the film, but that wouldn't be fair. You really got to see the whole lot. An hour and 40 minutes on YouTube, worth it, worth it. But what the film doesn't actually say, because they are greens still that make it, is that all this effort of green power, all this expense is for next to nothing. The little warming we've seen has not been catastrophic at all. Cutting our emissions is not going to make any difference that we could measure, not in Australia. Watch the rest on YouTube. Planet of the Humans. You might not agree with all of it, but I think you should agree after watching it that you've been told a lot